Alright, we're going to be watching Lssadice, Lssadice, perhaps, who is Silver 2 on console on Shambali. Hard stuck gold slash silver console support. I peaked gold 3 last season as a support player. I can pretty decently use all supports to help with the team, but something I struggle with, of course. But some things I struggle with, of course. Positioning is one thing. I sometimes forget about enemy LOS because I'm focused on healing or doing something. Another thing is trusting my teammates. I've seen some weird plays in my role who don't seem to heal. The first fight you see me looking over Kiriko to see if she would heal a Sigma. I sometimes go into heal bot mode because I don't think my other support can handle it and gets me killed. This is a toxic mindset, I know, but I'd love for someone else to watch and see if it's just me, which probably is. I'd love to see how I can improve. I also would like to know what I'm supposed to do with staggering teammates or teammates to overextend, which the tank and the Cassie does a lot of times. Thank you in advance for watching and reviewing. Okay, so let's cover, I haven't seen the replay, but let's cover a few of these points to start with. I think what's very important in Overwatch is to do your job, right? Don't try to do things that are not your job. Just because somebody else is doing it poorly, to some extent, you just need to let them do it poorly, right? For example, if you notice that there is, a Widow on an off angle, right, who's shooting at your team, ping it and dodge. But if no one deals with the Widow, don't pull out your pistol and run over there and go shoot the Widow. I'm not saying that you necessarily would do that, but I'm giving you an example. Or trying to do things outside of your job is not going to be helpful. It's actually not really going to help you climb. Things will average out more or less, right? If you're doing your job really well, you will climb, right? And you'll get players who will do their job better, but there will still be jobs that are left undone. Even at Masters, there's going to be times where they miss out a flanker, no one's dealing with a Pharah, no one's shutting down the tank, whatever it ends up being. There will always be jobs that your team will not be doing well, right? Basically, anytime you lose, it's because somebody didn't do their job well. And again, there's a big, strong aspect of staying within your lane, right? What's really possible with your hero, definitely try to max that out, but don't try to do anyone else's job. So if you're playing Mercy, right, and you're damage boosting, a DPS and you're getting good value, and you see the Kiriko is just not healing your tank, to some extent, you just gotta let it go. If you can heal the tank and it's not gonna impact your Sojourn Pocket or whatever's ability to get kills, fine, go ahead and do that. But don't just totally just fixate on just healing the tank from now on in order to win the game. I would say unless your tank is absolutely carrying, then I would think about it. But beyond that, I would say generally stay with pocketing the DPS. What else did you say? You also talked about positioning. I mean, obviously we're going to cover that. We talked about enemy LOS. We talked about that. Also, for the record, your other support might not be healing because they might be under pressure, right? That's another thing that could be happening. You ask, what do we do about staggering teammates or teammates overextend? First of all, don't be part of the problem. Basically, everybody I've seen who says, hey, how do I deal with staggering teammates, themselves stagger. And so they become part of the issue. So, number one, don't do that. Number two is when you are regrouping your team, don't enable them to continue staggering. Okay? So, for example, if you're let's say you die first, okay? Then your team all starts dying slowly off in the team fight. You respawn first and you're coming back. When you realize you can no longer rejoin for a team fight, stay back, right? Don't try to run forward and help the people in the front. Just let them die. Otherwise, the people who are coming behind you are going to follow, like lemmings. They're going to follow the leader back into the fight and then constantly keep staggering. So the biggest single thing, because you can't really control what they do, is just stay back yourself. And obviously, you can ping, you can communicate via voice comms if you really want to. I don't think it's necessary. I think you can climb perfectly fine without it. Just don't be part of the problem is the single biggest tip about staggering. Regarding overextensions, everyone's going to overextend, right? Generally speaking, nobody dies unless they overextend. So in every fight, when someone dies, it's typically because they overextend in some way. It's going to happen, right? You just play around it. If you can help them, if they overextend and you can help save them, do so. Because a big part of a support's job is to cover up for mistakes of your teammates. If you can't cover them, right? If you can't cover the mistake and it would sacrifice yourself, don't do it. Unless that is your only option to win the fight, right? If it's you and the tank left against 3 people and your Ryan charges into 3 people, follow him in because it's the end of that's the fight anyway. Either if your tank dies, you're not going to be able to carry it as a support, so you might as well just follow your tank in and hope that they're able to convert it. Okay, yep. So stay on the Sojourn initially. I would point out that Sojourn without charge actually does not pose a particular threat to the enemy. She doesn't really one-shot, and unlike before where Mercy damage beam would actually boost the energy she would get, she's a lower priority now, in my opinion, to damage boost than she was before, until she gets charged, because you don't really enable her until she gets charged. Once she gets charged, go ahead and damage boost her. I think it's actually a better idea to damage boost the Soldier initially, because he can potentially get a kill with a couple bullets and Helix Rocket. So, just something to think about. It's not that important as before to constantly pocket a Soldier. So this already is a bad float. You see how you kind of are hovering in the air? Again, if they had any hit scan here, you could potentially die right now. So when you do that, don't get lift, right? Just stay behind cover the whole time. So you're letting beam break here, which you should, okay? Again, you should just peek, right? Reestablish the beam, and then stay behind cover if you need to. But honestly, like it's pretty safe even to play main right now, behind the cart. They don't really have anything that can one-shot you. The Discord, right now I would heal the Sigma, right? Even though, yeah, your Kiriko's supposed to be healing the Sigma, I would still be healing Sigma right now because nothing else is critical as opposed to just healing the Sigma. Your Sigma's low, like I would heal your Sigma right now. So you were just straight up not healing your Sigma at all. Like you're healing your Soldier who's at full health right now, then you're healing your Soldier who was like in a healing field, also nearly full health. Your Sigma's still wrecking around with a third of his health missing. You finally try to click on the Sigma, but you're too far away, so that's just kind of a mechanics mistake that you just learned from playing Mercy, is that you gotta be closer than that to lock beam. Then Soldier gets low, and you're not forward enough to be able to help the Soldier. So you're kind of slow on that, so Soldier could have died there for sure. You swap off the Sigma to Sigma when you shouldn't. Right? So these are the kind of micro optimizations. Like Mercy doesn't really have a lot to her kit. You know what I mean? Like who you target and when you target them is like 50% of your hero. These little things you have to be super, super, super good at. So right here, okay, correct call to be a healing Soldier. You should have been healing her earlier, but fine. So you're going to swap here to the Sigma. But why? You shouldn't swap the Sigma right now because your Sigma's invincible because he's using Grasp, which means they don't, unless they have a beam weapon, they cannot damage Sigma right now. Beam weapon or melee, but obviously melee you can see someone being this close. So the Sigma is actually basically invincible right now. You should continue healing the Soldier and then switch to Sigma if he needs it after Grasp is done. Now you see the Soldier is getting very, very low now. And you see how much health that the Sigma just got? He just got like, I don't know, 300. Wrong team. He just got like 300, 250-ish health, like the overheal. He did not need your healing at all. Your Soldier, meanwhile, could have died this whole time walking around with less than 100 health. Right? You should be healing the Soldier right now. So again, too slow to peek around this corner. You're full health right now. You have to be playing closer to the corner, right? You got to be more aggressive in your positioning than that. So you're too slow because you're playing so far away. Stuff is happening in front of you that you aren't able to react to because you're just playing too far from the corner. You start healing the Soldier. Again, you might have been able to save him if you've been healing from the very beginning and you kept him at full, but he was discorded and got blown up here. So now that you're discorded, right, now you can play a little safer, but discord is lifted off of you. So this is okay so far. You do not want to be advancing. I think one thing you're having trouble with is thinking about the tether distance of how far you should be from the enemy, or from your teammates, okay? So, like, right here is about the right distance that you want to be, right? Maybe, like, even a slightly further back. And you want to be close to the corner so that you can turn the corner. As your team moves up, you move forward. If your team moves backwards, you move backwards. Now, you see the problem here is that you see your 2 DPS are backing up, but you are walking forwards. And thus, you end up taking all this spam right here that you shouldn't have, okay? Again, you see your Soldier backs up, you need to back up here, and it's like the Soldier is like kind of overextended here, like playing on the right side. So I don't, especially with the Sigma just constantly firing out left, I kind of let the Soldier go. You know, it's like not your job to try to follow into that. Again, you should be hearing the Soldier, and it's actually in many ways I think this is actually better than watching your perspective because I think it's more helpful for you to understand what's going on, right? So now you've done healing the Soldier, and you should be switching to damage now. You go for the res, which is fine. I don't know if you read that the Sigma was using Grasp here. If the Sigma was using Grasp, you were definitely going to die. But I don't know if that you made that correct read or not. I would assume not because this is silver. Yeah, you definitely had no idea the Sigma was grasping. But you couldn't see the Sigma at least, which is fine. It's not the worst res in the world by any means. So you need to switch back to damage. Right? So yep. So one thing to think about in this situation also is, again, unless your Soldier has charge, right, which is not that charged right now, still under half. Think about damage boosting the tank, who can consistently, like in this clump, the tank is consistently doing a lot of damage to the enemy team, right? Also the Soldier. Don't just exclusively pocket the Soldier unless you've already identified the Soldier is very, very good. Nothing you do about that he just got absolutely melted, right? It's like you could have started healing him a little bit, but I don't think it would have changed the fact that he dies. Yeah, so once again, Discord is just changing the time to kill significantly in this fight, and your team's just not reacting well to it. Again, just damage boost. He dies. I mean, honestly, super overextension here, but you know, it is what it is. Come back out, run it again. The Zen's just adding a ton of value right now. So you should be damage boosting right now. Honestly, when in doubt, damage boost over healing. Like, if you can't read the situation well, if you're panicking, damage boost. Definitely damage boost right now. So if I see the soldier go in like this, I assume the soldier knows something. So I would step forward and damage boost. Right? The thing is, like, you're playing forward to try to keep people alive. But in reality, you're actually, as Mercy, you should be thinking, I want to help people get kills. Your soldier is fighting a 4-on-1 right now. Your healing is irrelevant compared to the amount of damage that's coming in. But if the soldier sees an opportunity to get a kill, then maybe your damage boost will make a difference. At least you can trade. Trades are good when you're on offense and you have close spawn. Okay? You would trade any day of the week because they have such a long spawn. Think about where their spawn is, right? They have to run all the way over from here, right, to come and rejoin the fight. So definitely trades super good on offense. Your shoulder's just not taking good positions at all. She really just go left. Again, you see how you're defaulting to heal beam, but you really should default to damage beam whenever possible. Like, you just need to look for more opportunities. Okay, so Hanzo dies here. You could have used that opportunity to fly over the top and then go for the res. I would have GA'd here, right, and done this a little quicker. Just be like a little more efficient with your movements. Alright, so 2 die while you're rezzing. You know, is what it is. You can pop Valk in the next fight. Valk's a really good. Valk's not that strong an ultimate in general, but it's really good in neutral 5-on-5 situations. So right now it's unusual, but you see the Sigma put the shield here, so I assume the Sigma is going to walk forward here and try to poke us. You're just not looking at all. And there's no reason to be doing this. Like, you don't need to look at your target to heal them. So first of all, you should be healing the Kiriko. Second, there's no reason to not be looking to the left to figure out, hey, what's coming my way? You eat this rock, you could easily have died here. And now you're still continuing to just walk across the open as though there aren't a bunch of enemies here who could kill you. Right, look at, you know? And again, look from their perspective. You get rocked. You see how you're just walking in a straight line over there? Anybody with hit scan or even projectiles could easily have killed you there. I think basic mistakes like that are really important to clean up. As you pointed out, not thinking of LOS. The safest thing to do would have been, again, right? You start healing. First of all, you've been healing Kiriko, but second, you see the rock, you step right, then you juke and come back to the left, and then you stay over here, healing and stay here until your team is able to move up and take space back. But you just kind of like straight, like, you know, fry your brain just walking towards spawn for no reason. Alright, so you pop Valk. I think this is a reasonable Valk. I would have liked your team to get a little further, but your soldier sliding against this is fine. Again, I think that you should be damage boosting right now. Their whole team is very overextended. All 3 of these can die like almost instantly. Your team is not instantly about to die. This is a huge damage boost opportunity. Once again, you're exclusively healing here. This is, again, very important for you to be damage boosting right now. You should also be healing or beaming the Sigma, right? Because it's so that you get as many bounces as possible instead of trying to heal the front target, you know? Because it spreads to all the targets around it. So again, like right here, Kiriko would be a good option as the middle person. You're doing it as though you don't have Valk up, right? You realize that Valk gives you those extra beams, and so you should not be targeting the center of the pack, right? The center teammate, not the one who actually needs it. Again, you should be damage boosting. You basically just don't damage beam at all. I think your damage beam time at this point is like under 10%. I don't know what the number is supposed to be, but my gut instinct is probably something close to 50-50. So, a lot of mechanical errors here. So, you melee. First of all, that one is way too far away for you to melee. Second, this one was much closer to you, which you could have meleeed, but you're too high. You're also slightly too far, I think. And you break beam. And so now you're in like big trouble. Also, these turrets aren't hurting anybody, you know? Like, up until now, like this is the first point where those turrets were actually a problem. So you effectively wasted your Valk. You were often only healing one person with it, and didn't damage boost at all during that Valk. So that was a really, really bad Valk. So, because they don't have hit scan, something you should think about, sorry. Something you should think about here is getting height, okay? So, height is really bad against hit scans, but it's really good against projectile heroes and anybody who doesn't have range. So if you just kind of float high here, right, and constantly bounce back and forth like that, you're going to be pretty much invincible. But if you stay on the ground level, you're you're gonna get hit by the Sigma, you get hit by the Rock, right? The Sim can get you, you know, etc. The Torp can get you. Again, flying in the air, super easy to stay alive in this situation. You don't try to dodge the Rock at all. You could have easily dodged it by simply strafing to the right instead of going diagonal to the right, which cuts down your horizontal movement, and you just get blown up and killed. So you wasted Valk there, and then you had bad movement to end up getting killed after that. Bad movement positioning, overall, just not great play there. Again, damage boost. Yeah, see, you're so addicted to using heal beam. Right here, your Hanzo hasn't even taken any damage yet, and you see how you've already switched to heal beam. So what if the damage orb is going to do like a tiny amount of damage to him? You see, like, he's not really taking any meaningful amount of damage. Like, you can just damage boost him through this and give him the chance to kill that Moira. Again, full health right now, you're still healing him. Again, full health Sojourn, you're still healing. Like, I think probably my big tip is try to figure out how to play a game using heal beam as little as you possibly can. Like, seriously, like, try to avoid that instinct of continually healing people. Unless someone is critical. In fact, that's actually a good tip now that Mercy's been buffed, right? for boosted critical healing. Unless somebody's critical, just damage boost them. It's not quite the correct play, but it's much better than what you're doing right now. And just like it's hard to learn without making mistakes, I think that you're healing so much that you kind of keep everybody alive longer than they would, but it doesn't necessarily swing a fight. Like, everyone just stays alive, but eventually you get walked over because you're just not offering as much value as their opposing supports. Like, the Zen, for example, was totally messing up your team with just Discord. Like, not even as attacks, just Discord Orb was killing your team over and over again. That's what you do, but you enable one person to deal that damage out to anyone, as opposed to making it a single target. So you get super spooked here. I think you're having trouble. First of all, like, you overextend. Okay, you clearly walked past your Sigma. So again, imagine the space between the two tanks. Never walk into that space as a support. Okay, you are very overextended right now. You're like hyper focused on killing this turret, which isn't even zapping anybody. You know, like, that turret is not a big deal. This turret is not going to be the end of your team. You know, like, this is not a thing that you need to worry about. Coalescence is popped. Reasonable movement to get around the corner. Now you just need to chill. Kiriko's dead. This is a dire get out situation. You don't want to stagger. Yeah, even Kiriko. Damage was Kiriko, right? She can kill somebody with a headshot and a body shot. Again, great example where she'd be damage boosting, not healing. Because the Orisa can kill the Torp here. Right? I would damage boost at least until now. Because you want to kill the Torp as fast as possible. Man, how long has your Hanzo been alive up there? What the heck? So, another great example where I really think you need to get verticality here. Instead of you just like slingshot directly backwards, you really need to get up into the air. I don't actually know the technique myself. I feel like I can figure it out pretty quickly, but this is like a critical part of Mercy is getting height when height is helpful. And this is a great example where height would be extremely helpful. Everyone's low. You should have been healing your Orisa here. I mean, I guess Sojourn also is like reasonable. You definitely should be healing the Hanzo. Like, at this point, I already should be healing the Orisa. Just the splash damage alone, even though she'd spin up, splash could have killed her. You pop Valk. This is not a good time to Valk, right? Again, your Kiriko is dead right now, still spawning. Your team is far away from the enemy, and your team is low. You know? This is not the time to Valk. Your team is not going to be able to do anything with this. Right? At least you're healing the center target now, which is great. So, kills one of Dragon. You're damage boosting, hooray. Again, you should be damage boosting right now still. Now you're looking for an opportunity to heal the Sojourn. Unfortunate, but that's fine. I would have started that I would have stopped the motion short here and done the res here instead of going just a little bit farther that you could, because you notice how you went a little bit too far over here, and then that exposed yourself to the uphill. Your Orisa's there, but you never know. Just good habits, you know. You want to breed good habits. Should be Kiriko on card here. You should be following this up. Okay, you really only need one on cart typically. Your Kiriko should be the one on cart. You should already be up here playing with the front line. So you couldn't really have saved this, but you should be much closer. You should be playing like here. So if Kiriko's not gonna move it, then because and we don't know that the Kiriko wouldn't have left cart or would have left cart if you had left cart as well. But since the Kiriko sees that you're staying on cart, like she's like, okay, well one of us should step up, because she can see here that you're not actually moving forwards. So then she ends up stepping forwards now. So one of you's gonna be on cart. That's fine. You've managed to trade. So it's 4-4 right now. Again, that's really important, right? Ask yourself at any moment in time, what's the current team fight? Is it 5-on-5? Is it 4-4? Is it 5-on-4? Is it 3-on-5? Whatever it is. Now it's 3-on-4, right? So we're down 1. You don't have res for another 7 seconds, so nothing you can do or do that. So I assume this fight's probably over. I'm probably just farming ulti here, honestly. Oh, that was a very questionable res. I think you easily should have died here. I do not think that was a good res. Also, you should have turned and then used this opportunity to slingshot past the enemy, or at least up in the air. Anything to just not walk away in a straight line. You're in big trouble. So the quick reaction to Sigma Flux is to look around and make sure everybody is over half health. Okay? You can't do that for yourself. You obviously can't heal yourself, but you should turn and heal the other support is what you should do right now. Instead, you basically just take your hands off the keyboard or controller. You're like, oh, look, I'm fluxed. Cool. Like, you could be doing something valuable right now, which is healing your Kiriko, because your Kiriko is going to end up out of this super, super low. And she should have been healing you. That's what should have happened here. You see how low the Kiriko is, but you're not healing, despite the fact that the Hanzo that you're healing is full health. Right? He's full health this whole time, and yet you're refusing to heal the Kiriko. Now you've taken a bad angle, so you can't see the Orisa anymore. You shouldn't have gone this far. You should have gone like here to be able to see the Orisa and your Kiriko and the enemy, and be covered from the enemy team. Walking to the right here was a mistake. Now you can't see the Orisa. Now you panic, so you come to the right, and then you dive into the middle of the lane, which is a super bad idea. Like, I feel like the only technique you have with Guardian Angel is go straight forward and then bounce backwards, which is not good. Alright, you have a lot of possibilities for the movement of Guardian Angel. It's a super strong ability. Damage boost. Oh my. So you really want a damage boost right when she's going to pop it, because then she gets the boosted damage, and then people will die. But you're very anti-damage boosting, which is going to cost you for sure. I would have just rezzed right away, because they're clearly all like super frazzled. As soon as your Hanzo step forward, like, you know that you're not the primary. Oh, you don't res in 10 seconds. Damage boost, please. So you hear this going on to the right. I don't know why you didn't step to the right and just kill this Moira. Yeah, okay. So you have Valk. I honestly would have confirmed the kill on the Moira versus Resident Orisa, because if you confirm the kill there, like, they're not going to respond in time to be able to stop at the cart anyways. You didn't need your Orisa there. Again, just play safe, right? Play behind the cart, play safe, or play on the side here would also be legitimate. Don't try to stay and don't try to peek out into no man's land. Right to the left or right to the cart. If the Orisa wants to do something silly and play like directly in front of the cart, like, you can't help that. Don't worry about it. It's not your job. Heal the soldier. Alright, so you're looking for a good Valk opportunity. She gets blown up here. Could you have saved this? She's discorded. So I think you technically could have saved this if you've been healing the soldier the whole time, but you switch off the Hanzo because the Hanzo's low, but the soldier is discorded. It's tough. I don't really blame you for this one. Get the res. You lost your tank though, so this is a reset situation. I think you read that as well. You're just trying to back out. For the record, when you're backing out here, just turn in Guardian Angel. Don't just walk in. You need to get more comfortable with beaming a target and then moving in a direction independently of where that target is. That spatial awareness is very important. You do not want to be stepping forward right now when you're super low, right? This is like, see how you peak when you have 45 health. Anybody who's just spamming, not even aiming, you're just spamming here would have killed you. You cannot do this. So you see your soldier up there. I know you feel anxious. You're like, oh, I gotta help her. She's really extended right now. You have no tank. So, if an opportunity arises, sure, but I wouldn't freak out. So right now, I would definitely probably fly over. With Dragon covering main, I would fly over right now and damage booster. Kind of miss that opportunity. She gets the kill anyway. Like, this is the thing about silver, right? Especially silver in console, is everybody makes a million mistakes. You know, your team makes mistakes, the other team makes a ton of mistakes too. Like, there's no reason why the team, your team should have gotten 2 kills here with your Sigma down right away, or Orisa down right away. Like, their team should just walked over you and killed you. But again, their team wasn't aggressive enough, right? Their tank didn't step forwards, and as a result, people ended up getting picks that they shouldn't have. So you could have taken this opportunity right now to heal your soldier. And again, you're full health. Like, you can peek here. You should heal your soldier, and still should heal your soldier. Right? Your soldier's kind of lead attack element here. I would heal the soldier and then switched over to the Kiriko again. You still have not healed your soldier, and you really are anti-healing your soldier. I mean, like, let's just look at how long this soldier is low. Okay, so she gets rocked right there at 7:01. And then she gets shot, so she's got 50 health right now. And like, the Kiriko is like giving her a little bit of healing. And then 7:12. So the soldier goes 11 seconds without you healing her, and the entire time she was below 50% health. Which I don't think is good. I really think that you should have healed the soldier at some point in time. So I think you're just having trouble keeping up with like the amount of stuff that's going on here. That you had nothing you could do about. So for this res, I would tuck in to the right and do the res here. Do not res in the middle of the lane. Again, like, you're really obsessed with. Oh, do you not res? You res. Why don't you pop this res? Like, again, you can safely res around the corner, you know? I don't understand why you're not resing here. Okay, that's very strange. Okay, so this whole. Yeah, you're definitely getting flustered with the amount of stuff that's going on. So I feel like you're like, oh, okay, I see turrets. It's not really your job to kill turrets. Like, you can help if the opportunity arises, but it's not really your job to kill turrets. Number one. Number two, you can also just kill them with a pistol, for the record. Like, that's actually faster if you kill 3 like this than it would be to try to melee all 3 of them. Number 3 is that you could just res here, right? Which is what you should have done. I would just resed, and then it would have been fine. But now you're playing super far back. No one's helping your tank. Your tank is dead. And now you should die or get out. I would probably just die here because this is pretty far away. But, right? I would GA here, right? And then slingshot out. Now you really need the GA here and get out. Yeah, see? You know how to get verticality. That's not the time you want verticality, though, because the verticality is now going to expose you over the wall. Right? You don't want to be gliding right now. You want to be just getting out. I'm sure there's really good Mercy like movement guides out there. I am not a Mercy player, so I cannot advise you on that. But I'm 100% sure there's really, really good Mercy movement guides out there, because I think your Mercy movement just needs a lot of work. So don't do this, right? You see how you're just stepping through, like, look from their perspective, right? You're just gonna walk forwards as though you're the tank coming out of the doorway, like shoulder to shoulder with the tank. So you really need to be damage boosting right now. Like, Coalescence is up right now. There's so much healing for your team. You really need damage. You really need to damage. Again, obsessed with killing the turrets. Like, you walk up here and you nearly die to these turrets. These turrets aren't shooting anybody, for the record. They're literally doing 0 value, and then you walk in and they nearly kill you. They drop you all the way to 48 health. Like, stop trying to kill the turrets. Again, like, you're wasting time killing turrets where nobody is even here. You know? That turret on top is not doing anything to anybody. Playing with the leading edge is far more important, right? To try to help you get picks. You should be damage boosting right now, even your Orisa, right? Orisa or Hanzo here. Kiriko's dead. You should be looking to figure out where she died so that you can get the res off. Right? She died to the right. Again, like, you're just trying to be faster, you know? Like, you could have run here, jump on the cart to get vision, and immediately fly over and then start the res. Instead, you just kind of walk over here slowly. And now you start res, which is a significantly more dangerous spot, but the other team's not paying attention. You GA into the enemy team. Right? There's no reason for this. I think you just play behind your Orisa here and look for an opportunity to slingshot to the right on the DPS. But standing out in the middle of the open here, again, look from their perspective at how incredibly easy it is to kill you. Like, you're not getting punished because this is silver on console, but I guess the shield's there. That's the reason why you really don't die. But there's no reason to just float into the middle of the map, or middle of the point like that. So this is your thing. You really should look for an opportunity to go to the right, but you don't have it because you're using GA incorrectly. Can't really save that due to your positioning. You should GA out to the Kiriko right away. You don't because you're running over. I guarantee you were running over to go melee that turret. Like, it's very obvious. You're like, you know, my whole team is dying. This is like a critical team fight, but I really got to kill this turret. That's really my job here, is killing this turret. Yeah, see? It's like, even when you've been lifted in the air, and you might still survive this, okay? And you should be, for example, like healing your Orisa, right? You're still just like, really got to kill that turret. And then you die here. You know, that's the final fight. Like, you do not need to kill that turret. Even if the turret is shooting somebody, it doesn't do that much damage. It does like 30 damage a second or so. 30, 35, something like that. Alright, you come out as Baptiste. I'm highly skeptical that you can play Baptiste well, to be perfectly blunt, based on the fact that you have trouble hitting turrets, which are stationary objects. But we shall see. So for Baptiste, really important, I'm looking for weaving, right? As Baptiste, you cannot play Baptiste without weaving. I want to make that abundantly clear. You cannot play Baptiste if you do not weave your attacks. So it should be shoot, heal, or it should be shoot, heal, shoot, heal. Okay? Those are the only two real valid patterns. You should never be doing heal. It is okay sometimes to do only shooting if you're going to get kills out of it. But never do heal. There should always at least be one shot alternated with it. This is incredibly difficult to do. I'm going to say this like it's easy. It's not. It's really, really hard. I think Baptiste is one of the hardest heroes as a result. But it's important to recognize the hero is designed around shooting and healing. It's like if someone said, hey, can I play Mercy and can I only use the heal beam? And I would say no. Like, technically, could you? Yes. But your limit is, your ceiling for skill is so low, and it's not the way the Mercy is designed at all, that you might as well just not play the hero. So even if it's difficult, I tell everyone, even if you're bronze 5 at Baptiste, practice shooting and healing, right? Weaving the two of them together, super critical, right? Very, very important. I do think Baptiste is a good pick here, right? Baptiste is a canonical, like, brawl support, and you're running Rhine here, so super helpful, right? So the reason why brawl is helpful is because it keeps the fight in front of you. You know, if you're fighting right now, you can heal the Rhine, right? Shoot the enemy. Heal the Rhine, shoot the enemy. Heal the Rhine, shoot the enemy. Versus, like, if you're diving and the Winston's over here, you have to be like, oh, let me chuck a long-range grenade that might hit, then shoot at long range, which does very little damage. Chuck another long-range grenade, right, heal. Or, you know, you have a Doomfist or a ball where you just can't interact with them at all. So it's a good hero selection, right? Plus you also have high ground here, you have long angles, right? Really good opportunities for windows. So very, very strong pick, but the question is, do you actually have the accuracy for it? So reload right now, because you've already used 3 or 4 of your heal grenades for nothing. I don't know why you're shooting right now. I don't know if this is practice or anything, but like, yeah, I mean, now it's fine to be shooting once you're actually taking pressure. You're not weaving at all, very clearly, right? You're just exclusively healing. So you have to be, so for example, right there, it should be shoot the Sigma, heal the Ash. Shoot the Sigma, heal the Ash. Shoot the Sigma, heal the Ash. If that feels intimidating to you, it is. But I'm telling you, it's just like playing Mercy and not using the damage beam. You have to do it if you want to climb. Absolutely, you have to do it. Okay? You can climb probably to gold, maybe even, right? Or hell, even, this is console, so maybe you can get the low plat, like, theoretically only healing at times, right? But I'm telling you, to get anywhere close to like top 50% even, you're gonna need to learn how to damage and heal. So you might as well start practicing now. It is very confusing. I mean, when I learned BAP, it's very hard. I don't consider myself that good at it now, but you have to try. If you don't try, then you're in big trouble. So Reaper flanks right here. I think the problem is you can't really drop, because if you drop here, you can get obliterated in the cross. So I think you just stay high ground and you try to hit the grenades, right? So right here, it would be heal, shoot, heal, shoot, heal, shoot, and then throw a lamp when you need to. So lamp is more or less on target. You should have thrown it more to the left so the Ash doesn't get killed here. You hit the regen burst, which is good. So you keep the Ash alive, which is good, but you had to run across this whole field to get there, and you easily could have died doing so. Right? Sometimes you just can't save everybody, or it's not the right call to save everybody. So, soldiers pressuring you from high ground, you want to get the cover. There's no cover out here, okay? This side, cover. this spot right here, quite strong. You can peel the Reaper, heal the Rhine, peel the Reaper, heal the Rhine, right? And so forth. And then when you give this up, move to the next corner. Always have a corner or wall to play at. You're trying to return to high ground, which is clearly not going to work. So compulsive reloading is also a problem. You know, I guess you use all your heal grenades. Remember, healing, you cannot heal yourself with your grenades, right? So you've, for some reason, chosen to take a 1v1 versus the soldier. You think better of it. You're just totally ignoring the fact that the whole team is behind you and you could easily die here. You decide to peek and fight this out. Okay, so you walk forward with the Rhine, which is fine. Rhine's got him super low. He has 25 health right now. So one bullet of your 3-bullet burst would kill him. Instead, you're trying to heal the Rhine, but you should really shoot the soldier. You also could have jump jet boosted yourself, right? So that you could have been, when you went down here, it would have boosted you up, and then you have an opportunity to kill him. So I have no idea what your plan is here. So you could have reloaded if you really want to take this long route. Now you have the opportunity to kill the Zen. Again, 25 damage per bullet at close range. So 3 bullets in a burst, 75 damage. That means 3 bursts can kill a 200 health hero, assuming no headshots. You could easily kill the Zen right now, like so quickly. Instead, you decide to jump on cart and shoot nothing. You shoot the Sigma despite all these weak people in the back line. You're only healing right now. Okay, now you're starting to weave. Okay. You pop regen burst, but Rhine doesn't really need it. He's not below. Remember, it does extra healing if they're below half, right? If they're critical. So, again, lots of opportunities to heal people. Okay, so my general read here is you reach this point, and then you just give up. Like, you're mentally just tapped out. Like, this feels to me that you're like, I just can't process what's going on, so I'm just going to walk out of this fight. You see how you stop shooting, you stop healing, you throw down lamp in case it happens to be useful, and then you reset yourself mentally and get back into the fight. I mean, what am I supposed to say here? Obviously, like that's what you need to do, then that's what you need to do, but it's not optimal gameplay. You know, my goal here is not to help you with, you know, your mental computations. It's not my job. It's nothing that I'm qualified to do. But objectively, you just walking away from this fight like that, like a bot, is not helping your team. And you could have been healing / shooting the whole time, getting massive value. Again, Baptiste is quite easy to carry games at when you get good at it, because your combination of healing and damage output, plus the fact that you can get picks, and the fact that you're really hard to dive because you can kill so many heroes in 1v1s, makes you an absolute menace. So this is where button confusion happens. So again, you're trying to weave, right? You shoot, but your healing is going where your shootouts are supposed to be. This is totally understandable, right? This is actually better, honestly, than just healing or just shooting, because at least you're trying to build up that muscle memory to do it correctly. So I think that's totally fine. So Ryan's killed 2. I would think about window otherwise, but I would assume we're gonna win this fight. So I would just or your window. Kiriko's also gonna ulti. This is really bad. This is very common at low ranks where everyone there's like a good ulti opportunity and everybody pops it. Like, she should not have popped after you popped. So good wipe here. Gonna jump forward a little bit. In fact, I might jump forward a lot. You definitely should not be standing up here. Just like, look. You're just standing still against the wall. I think, oh, you're trying to strafe, but you don't realize that you're against the wall here. So good regen burst, right? Keeping the Ashe alive and lamp. So again, think about the leash distance. Even though you're not playing, you know, Mercy with a beam, you don't want to play this close to the Rhine, right? Same distance for pretty much all supports. Is like this far is great where you have a corner. But you see how you creep forwards right now for no reason into 2 close range heroes, the Ramatra and Nemesis and the Reaper. And now you're in big trouble here because they can do a lot of damage to you. You can't keep Ryan alive. So once this happens, I'm like, look, can I realistically win this fight? Maybe, right? We have Ashe out here. We have Bastion, who's somehow gotten out here. So I look at this, I'm like, okay, maybe this is winnable. I try to stay alive. I think that I'd probably start spamming crouch boots right now, because I'm unlikely to be able to walk out of here. But if I spam crouch boots, it buys time, because it's hard for them to hit me while I'm in the air. Like, the Reaper's not going to do much damage, and the Kiriko can keep healing me. So this is probably crouch boot spam time. Again, I see walking in a straight line is going to get killed. And that's exactly what happens. I think you just literally just spam boots, go up in the air, come down, spam boots, and go back up in the air over and over and over again to try to buy yourself as much time as possible. Obviously, your aim is off, but I'm sure you're aware of that. Okay. Probably more of the same stuff is going to happen with Baptiste, so I'm just going to skip through some fights. Get to like the last one. I don't know if you play any other supports in this game. You're going to win this game. Yeah, I mean, looks like you win this game. So, great, I guess. Yeah, I mean, you're gonna win this game. So, you know, one thing I tell people is that you should post losses over wins because there's usually more to learn in losses. But, you know, I think we have plenty of material here because usually I analyze the last fight. I'm like, okay, how could you have turned this fight around? But obviously, you win this game, so it's not really relevant. And we'll talk about this a little bit. So going right here, honestly, I don't think your team should have contested here to begin with. Your team should have waited for it to turn the corner and then contest in this open area. But, you know, if that's what your team's going to do, you gotta kind of need to follow that. So you put down a window here. So first of all, don't throw lamp. I don't think you meant to do that. That feels like a button problem. Okay, window's up. Yeah, focus him down. Alright. And yeah, there's not really actually anything we're going to say here. You did not need to reload there. Oh, I guess you did. You did 3 shots. Right, shoot first, then melee. Okay, so overall, on number 1, I would say for Mercy, damage beam way more. Like, your damage beam time is like literally like less than 10% from what it felt like to me, and you need to be much higher. Again, I don't know what the actual percentages are for top Mercy players, but I'm going to guess that it's going to be probably something like 40 to 50%. So you're looking for at least a 4 times increase in how often you're damage beaming. Try to damage beam as much as you possibly can. Number 2, Mercy movement is pretty lackluster. I encourage you to look up Mercy movement guides to better move around the battlefield, right? Also think about when hovering is very good for you based on the opposing heroes. Number 3 is line of sight, as you already mentioned. You're often exposing yourself to the enemy for no particularly good reason. And then on Baptiste, you need to weave more, like way more. You need to, I mean, also hit shots, but like I think weaving is probably the single biggest thing. I think there's so much going on with Baptiste already. I'm not going to fret about the other stuff because the regen burst and lamps are actually generally okay. I think just focusing on weaving, putting yourself in a position where you can always heal a teammate, shoot the enemy, right? Very, very important. So just focusing on weaving. And then I don't think it's worth talking about ultimates that much. I don't think you're just at that level where I think that's super valuable, so I'm not going to focus on that. Yeah, that feels like a pretty good list. Hopefully it's helpful.